All right, viewers, let's cut across right now to the Aligarh Muslim University. There is a shadow of grief on the eve of Eid. Cemeteries are running out of space to bury the young and the old. Many professors from the Aligarh Muslim University have fallen to COVID. The students there say they've never seen something like this. The story, practically a fall of India. My colleague Vashmi reports.
The cemetery at the Aligarh Muslim University has run out of space. Old graves are now being dug up so that new dead bodies can be buried. There's a shadow of grief and of despair at AMU. The second coronavirus wave has claimed lives of at least 16 teaching staff on campus.
पैनिक तो बैठा हुआ है, दिल में डर तो बैठा हुआ ही है। तो ये चलाओ कैंपस में कुछ ज़्यादा ही चल रहा है आजकल, रोज़ाना कुछ ना कुछ कैजुअलिटी हो रही है। अब तो ये सिचुएशन हुई, कभी कभी एक ही नमाज में 3 जनाजों की नमाज हो रही है, 3 मैयत रखी हुई हैं, 3 जनाजे रखे हुए हैं, उसके एक साथ नमाज हो रही है। इससे पहले हमने कभी नहीं देखा लाइफ में, जो उस वक्त देखने को मिल रहा है।
The Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College is overflowing with COVID patients, doctors and staff both battling the virus.
हमें ऑक्सीजन मिलती है तो हम मतलब बेहतर ट्रीटमेंट दे सकते हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं यही समझ में आ रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं ऑक्सीजन का बहुत बड़ा ड्रॉबैक है इसके पीछे। मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी में पहली बार इतना खामोशी, इतना सन्नाटा अपनी ज़िंदगी में पहली बार देखा है, क्योंकि मतलब कोई रौनक ही नहीं है। पहली बार ईद, कल परसों ईद है, मतलब बिल्कुल एकदम खामोशी है, सन्नाटा है, लोग बिल्कुल दिखाई नहीं दे रहे हैं।
I had symptoms of sore throat and fever, but on the onset. But on third day I had very severe persistent fever. It was not going down with any medication. I tried to even treat myself at home.
We are at the trauma center at the Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College in Aligarh, and this is the recovery ward where patients are, those who are recovering from COVID are actually kept. And you're seeing that this is Dr. Saima, who was a part of the hospital. She's been serving here relentlessly at the hospital and now infected.
As cases soar, the hospital is also battling an oxygen crisis. University authorities have now urged Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for more supplies, who visited the campus for the first time to take stock of the situation. The deaths have also triggered an alarm, with the Vice Chancellor urging the ICMR to investigate if a new variant is now spreading across the campus.
There is a possibility of sudden some fatal virus which may be circulating in and around the campus, on account of which these deaths may be taken. Therefore, he has requested the ICMR to make the proper investigation and to find out the causes of these deaths, so that further preventive measures may be taken by the medical team itself.
With severity of symptoms increasing and rising mortality rates, doctors at AMU grapple for answers. As the AMU administration raises the red alert, perhaps their only hope is the investigation into the samples that could well provide the answers. With video journalist Parvinder Sharma and Shahnawaz and Akram, this is Mosmi Singh in Aligarh for India Today.
All right, viewers, where Delhi is concerned, weeks of a complete shutdown, a lockdown in Delhi has finally shown some relief. And one can say that Delhi has turned a corner. We've seen too much grief. We've seen too much pain in the national capital over weeks. But numbers suggest Delhi might be on the downswing where COVID is concerned.
Finally, Delhi seems to be showing some encouraging signs in its COVID fight. Daily cases have now come down to just over 10,000 from close to 30,000 in April. The test positivity rate too has reduced to half in the last 20 days.
पॉजिटिविटी रेट 14% आ चुका है और मरीजों की संख्या डेली जो मरीज आ रहे हैं उनकी संख्या भी आज घट के 10,400 के करीब रह गई है.
It is clear that the lockdown that was first imposed on April 19 and has been extended 3 times so far is working. On May 9, lockdown in Delhi was extended by another week by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal till May 17. What's more, Delhi, which had been gasping for breath as cases surged, appears to have reduced its oxygen consumption too. The demand for oxygen in the capital has now come down from over 700 metric ton per day to 582 metric ton.
दिल्ली में ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत अब 582 मीट्रिक टन रह गई है. 700 की जगह अब दिल्ली का काम 582 मीट्रिक टन में चल जाएगा.
But the big hurdle continues to be vaccination. The Aam Aadmi Party government has been crying jab shortage for days now.
कल ही हमें तकरीबन 100 सेंटर बंद करने पड़े थे जहां पे कोवैक्सीन लग रही थी. आज 4400 सेंटर बंद करने पड़े हैं हमें. तो जब तक कोवैक्सीन का स्टॉक नहीं आता है तब तक यहाँ पे वैक्सीनेशन नहीं हो सकता.
For a city devastated by the second wave, cases coming down offers a ray of hope.
Like Mumbai, Delhi seems also to have turned a corner in its fight against COVID-19. At least these are early signs based on the numbers of the total cases and the decreasing positivity rate in the last few days. But the fight is far from over. Need now is to ramp up the vaccination at a war footing. There is no room for complacency or politics because lives are still at stake. With Dinesh Dal, Ankit Tyagi in New Delhi, India Today.
While its neighbour, Maharashtra, is slowing down in COVID cases, turning the corner, doing much better, it seems Karnataka is now peaking where COVID cases are concerned. Numbers seem to suggest, while Maharashtra has turned the corner, Karnataka, unfortunately, is now doubling figures.
A tale of two states. One which was the COVID epicenter and one which could become the next. The state of Karnataka is rapidly scaling the heights of COVID infections, closing in on Maharashtra in the daily tally. With the monster COVID surge, the doubling time of cases in Karnataka has alarmingly reduced from 84 days on April 15th to less than 30 days on May 12th. In the same duration, the doubling time in Maharashtra, on the other hand, has increased from 40 days to 68 days. Karnataka even surpassed Maharashtra in daily cases on Monday. Another harrowingly stat is that of the fatalities in Karnataka, which are growing exponentially. Fortunately, deaths have not seen a surge of the same magnitude in Maharashtra. The pace of vaccination has slowed down in the southern state. What's more worrying is that testing has also decreased substantially in recent days. But despite the declining testing rate, the daily positivity ratio in Karnataka has tripled in less than a month. It was 11.4% on April 15th and rose to 34% on May 11th. On the other hand, daily positivity ratio in Maharashtra is declining. It fell from 26.3% to 18.8% in the same duration.
Now, the second COVID wave has left Karnataka's health infrastructure in a precarious state. The active case load is also the second highest in the country, with close to 6 lakh cases. So, unless the authorities come out with concrete measures to control this surge, we will surely become the epicenter of COVID-19 in India. With video journalist Madhuar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
All right, in Karnataka right now, a 140-year-old hospital, an 800-bedded British time hospital, has been practically resurrected again from the Kolar goldfields there, primarily to aid the fight against corona.
The Kolar Goldfields, situated about 100 kilometers from Bengaluru, is back in the news once again.
Medical College came
An 800-bed British-era hospital, which was one of the biggest in Asia in the 20th century, is now being readied as a COVID care centre. For 20 years, this massive historical hospital was left defunct until the Kolar MP decided to use this to save people's lives.
ये बीजेएमएल हॉस्पिटल बहुत पुराना है ना, बहुत अच्छा है, इसलिए उसको यूज करें तो बहुत अच्छा रहता है. कम से कम 150 लोग हमारा बीजेपी कार्यकर्ता, हमारा संघ परिवार का कम से कम 100 कार्यकर्ता सभी मिल लेके कम से कम 15 दिन से हर दिन काम कर रहे हैं. इलेक्ट्रिशियन, सिविल वर्क सभी रेडी है. एक 3-4 दिन में वो शुरू हो जाएगा.
The volunteers from the RSS and BJP took it up as a challenge to clean the hospital that was not touched for 20 long years. So far, they have removed more than 400 tractor loads of garbage. Praveen S., who's overseeing the work, says that their biggest challenge was how to clean the hospital.
The day one, when I entered this hospital, you can see the bats flying around.
Okay.
And you can see the mud around 2 to 3 inches over here.
Okay.
And full of the web and all those things. And many people were skeptical that it's very difficult, and many told we can't convert it. They decided, yes, we will do this. And within a span of 10 days, we started this on April 27th. By May 7th, the entire cleaning of this 5 acres campus was completed.
Work is now underway to get it functioning as a hospital once all the required infrastructure is in place. 4 rooms are being converted into ICU facilities. Electrification, plumbing and other works are in full swing. They've also decided to make use of the close to 140-year-old iron cots.
This particular iron cot that we are both sitting on is almost what, 120, 140 years?
It is almost 140 years old.
Okay.
And it weighs more than 100 kgs. Each cot, yeah.
Okay.
You have to, at least you require 3 or 4 people to lift this from one place to the other. And you can see the forgings all, it is very old technique.
Okay.
And its life will be for another 500 years.
Well, I'm now standing inside the Edwards ward. This particular ward was set up way back in 1911. In fact, as of now, when the COVID care center is set up, 49 patients can be accommodated over here on these iron cots. I'm still very impressed with these because they are almost 120, 130 years old and they are still strong as ever. And the authorities over here have decided that they will use these same cots in order to treat patients, so they can come over here. Now, it's very interesting, this particular ward. It's built in a T shape. So you have 49 beds, all kept separately, so there's enough space. In fact, for 10 days, in just a matter of 10 days, volunteers from the BJP and the RSS came over here, took it up as a challenge in order to get this ready. And in 10 days' time, they have actually managed to finish this.
Citizens now want the central government, who controls this hospital, to convert it into a major government hospital on par with the Victoria Hospital in Bengaluru.
So as a citizen of this land of gold, I would generally thank our MP for the needful job. He's done a fantastic job along with the localites here, volunteers here working day and night for the almost 12 to 15 days now. I urge the high authorities, the state as well as the central government to look into the matter after the pandemic. This government hospital, the BGML hospital, shall be continued as a regular hospital to serve the people of KGF.
A very good initiative to help the people over here in a hospital that was set up way back in 1880. It was left defunct for almost 20 odd years. Something very different which will help the residents, the citizens, especially of KGF. With video journalist Madhuar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
All right, viewers, we're going to go into a quick break. On the other side, we're going to get you a fact check segment as we continue to report out of Uttar Pradesh, right now in the city of Varanasi. Welcome back, viewers. You're watching our fact check segment where we bust certain myths masquerading to be facts on social media platforms and WhatsApp groups. Now, there was a picture that's floating about seeming to suggest that Pfizer vaccine made by the pharma firm that owns Wuhan lab. Incorrect. False. Busting this particular myth, one can say, or, someone trying to fool you, especially on social media. Don't buy into it. It's not true. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of 7 at 7, but do stay tuned. Up next is our COVID Dispatch.